Welcome to Inform. With us at this time is the Secretary of State. It's great to have you here.
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you.
And have you in Jasper, Indiana.
Absolutely.
And hope to see you more often.
Well, thanks. You know, I go to every county at least once every year. So I do come through a lot, I think, and I'm not sure if this is the right way to say it or not, but this is one of the best kept secrets, if not one of the best places in Indiana. It's just very unique in a lot of different ways. I enjoy the friends that we have here and meeting new ones each time. But this is the 7th year in a row now that I've gone to every county at least once every year. And you know, that means you're driving about 45,000 miles a year without leaving the state of Indiana. And as beautiful as that state house is that the people of Indiana have sent me to, this is where I get my marching orders. This is where I become a better Secretary of State. With the dialogue that I engage in, whether it's at a Rotary Club, whether it's, you know, like someone like you, Mr. Canese, quizzing me, or a meeting that I just got done with. I just met with several clerks from this region of Indiana, several circuit court clerks, and they, of course, are the separately elected officials that help me put on the elections as Indiana's chief election officer. And, you know, even though there are no elections in the state of Indiana this year, it doesn't stop us from working. You know, we're already planning for 2010, and that's what the meeting that I just got out of is about.
So you don't really want to divulge anything of the meeting? Were there really some concerns?
Well, you know, no, I think this is positive work. You know, it's always improvement in the election process. And we have seen more change, quite honestly, in the last several years as I've been Secretary of State and throughout the nation. It's just not a comment on me, than we have seen since the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So with that sentence, I just said a tremendous mouthful.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's where we're at. We're at a time of change. And my goal is to let some of these changes and reforms seed and take root, grow a little bit before we make a whole other series of changes. So it was a check-in and a check-up.
Well, one of the things is, you know, I guess you basically briefly touched on a little bit, is something that was tried in the last election, and that is voting centers.
Yes.
And that seemed to work well.
Absolutely. We introduced a pilot law for up to 3 Indiana counties to try, and for 4 elections now. Wayne County by Richmond, Indiana, Tippecanoe County, Lafayette, of course, and then Cass County and that's the Logansport area, all tried vote centers. The idea, Paul, of vote centers is that there is no wrong place to go vote. The precinct structure on election day goes away. You still have precinct committeemen for all the things that they're needed for. But in terms of going to vote, where now there's only one legal place to go vote, that is your home precinct. In a vote center concept, again, that's been tried in these 3 counties, you can go anywhere in the county and vote as if you were in your precinct. That means getting your full ballot from President of the United States on down to precinct committeemen. And we have the technology to do that now, to do it in a secure fashion, because I'm Mr. Voting Integrity. I'm the fellow who got photo ID at the polls implemented here in the state of Indiana and was sued all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States, and we won. So I'm all about integrity in the process. But when you have the technology to make it easier to vote how we live in the 21st century, we ought to do it. And for some reason at the General Assembly, we don't have the political willpower right now. And so I'm making a plea to all your viewers to call your legislators about vote centers. It's an idea whose time has come. We want it as an option for the county. No county is going to be forced to do this, only if they unanimously agree. Both parties at the election board agree to do it. They should have it as a tool in their chest. Not only does it give more accessibility to the polls, but it also drives down costs. So here we are talking about taxes, and we have an idea now to keep county taxes low when it comes to voting. We paid this last primary probably $7 a voter. A vote center county can get that down because there's less expense, less machinery to buy, less poll workers needed.
I know in Dubois County here, you know, normally the absentee ballots start, a month or so before the election day. And I know here many people voted prior to the eletion.
That's a great thing, and that's part of vote centers, but that's not exactly vote centers.
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah. So, but I think your point, though, is that we have been doing things to make voting more and more accessible. I mean, you can basically fall out of bed into a precinct. You can vote 30 days at the courthouse, show your ID, and I was really proud of the state of Indiana. You know, I am a conservative. I'm a member of the Republican Party, and I am living in a blue state. And I think competition is good. It brings the best out of all candidates and all parties, and we mattered as a battleground state in the fall, and we mattered for one of the parties in the primary. Mr. Obama was here in the state of Indiana no less than 49 times. I'm 39 years old. I was elected in 2002 as the youngest Secretary of State in the nation at the time. I have never seen, until last fall, an ad by a presidential candidate on TV, because we were taken for granted by both parties for all that time. So this is a good thing in a sense, and I hope it sharpens everyone's swords and skills and makes Indiana. I don't like the fact that we'd be a flyover state when it comes to presidential candidates, and hopefully we can repeat this in the future.
Now, I think this voting centers bill was introduced in Senate Bill 452.
Yes.
But in the House it was...
we call it stripped or sidelined or...
Yes. So what is your next move?
Well, I've been talking with some senators, and we're going to reintroduce this language as an amendment this Monday in Senate elections, and we hope to let it have an up or down vote and let the people decide if without it being tangled up with other amendments or other partisan issues, because that's what has happened in the past, and then it would fail. Let it be voted on as a concept. The people of Indiana deserve this. They deserve to have this as an option, as a tool in their toolbox to help drive down their property tax costs, and that's what vote centers would do.
Well, the only thing that I would add is, you know, I've been voting for some time. I don't think I've ever missed voting.
Okay, thank you.
But on the side of, you know, years ago in the precincts, precinct workers were from your precinct.
Yes.
But you go to your precinct now, you don't even really know who's
That's right.
working your precinct. So the purpose of the precincts, I think, that really existed at one time are invalid at this.
Yeah, and there's more of us. It's hard to. We used to have precincts as the best technology because precincts as a process, because that was the best technology we had at the time.
Was great at the time.
Yeah. Well, now, you know, we're so mobile. There's so many of us, and the average age of poll workers, and God love them, is 72. The greatest generation is running our polling places, and thank the Lord for that. But if there's a generation that deserves to sit and be catered to instead of doing the catering, it's the greatest. And they will tell you that there's less and less of them each time. Vote centers is a way to get younger people involved in the process because they're excited about computers, and the older poll workers could be there to add their wisdom that these young people desperately need. They need role models today more than ever before. And I envision vote centers bringing a whole new crop of poll workers, younger poll workers, to help work alongside these older ones.
So what do you recommend the viewers do after viewing this program?
Call your legislators. Call in Indianapolis. I'm sure there's an 800 number also, but at least 317-232-9600 for your House of Representative leaders, and then 317-232-9400 for your senators. Let them know that along with property tax caps and those other measures of fiscal responsibility, that vote centers is a way, common sense way in the 21st century to conduct an election at a very low cost.